Yet it's another wonderful and a beautiful Friday morning. Good morning, and I welcome you to the Dialogue Show on Net2 Television as I bring to you segmented programs ranging from the weather update and the sports segment to also come in, as well as the entertainment aspect within the show. We are bringing you live from Net2 Television. Anope mo wache amwakwa badwa Net2 Jumadi eso na ene so another fear da Nyankopon aye ede amaye drufi da seya na obia ni age drufi da seya na ahosepe aba esase after a hard day's work no man for chill na chese drufi da na say obia release stress so at say e kwa kohome kakra na fe nemu bego ede amaye. That is how we feel the be adura na obia no akame nerves na obia da form boko so at say na anopai yede dwumadie no the Friday's edition of the Super Duper morning show no ayewo ewo dialogue so no anase the 2TV so no na ebrewo ene anopai na yewo segment ahodo ewo show yi emu weather update anopai said the be afaye de ebrewo sound so na entertainment ewo ebeba agudi mranche ba beje adwanom so abesom ye wagudi ekwan so no achi screen interviews ahodo ewo na obokrata bobo so the major news making headlines in the various newspapers ko wakrata emumbo so beba interviews ahodo makomi no bi so aye hwe ni monene so ye di eho enkomo na ene no kase ye fa bibi efe se National Good Sanitation Samaritan Day. And then you hear be a friend say National Good Samaritan Day. Ye bibi papa will be abrabum. Said ye the Good Samaritan no ye no. San and ne we are singing a ye kai bibi at sa na friends so no. Ya kai bibi a friend said National Preschoolers Day. National Preschoolers Day. Kwanya ya faso den kwada ko school. Ghana ha kwan be na ya faso den kwada ko school. Obi nyinse na owo a na ya man of 3 months maternity leave. Na bayan tuaneka after the 3 months no be say ofo no se eye ono no de wawo ne maame a na wabecha ne nchen na wo hwe akwada no se ya akwada a wo hwe no a bi akwada keto a oboa no fi a na sa akwada na behwe na wo se maame ne kwa adwuma ebetomire bi kwa na wo se de akwada no kwa adwuma ne bi na aja eduru ba bi a wasu kakra na ya manu nufo kakra na sei ni atete aduane de amano ni nyina ye kwan a awofo efa so ede eboa. So we ask ourselves say ebedru brebe na ese de akwada no ko school ma awofo no so ho han no time akwada no ko school no aso na dwemu abie druba bi wanya ntetiye bi wana wanya nema bi a ebetimi aboa no all menga wotafoforo bi se akwada no begu nso a wotimi ka ana ebia se obeye no ho yi a otimi ka ede no elsa akwada timi nya ansa na edna PSE ko school but Ghana situation ti na akwada no bu ho a after say ne maame adi ne maternity leave awie no na wo se ede akwada no ko school ana yekope ba bi de no ko ye behwe the public sector no aban school no na say anas years ben washa to say wasa kwada no enya ansa ne na ko crèche anas kindergarten aya ye kano no ne ahwe ankra schools so wo so emfia wo je edefa akwada ye ne eba school eho ni nyina no ewo mu bibisa say abaya hemfia bi ato ebia from at least 3 years kosi 5 years anas 4 years kosi 5 years ebisa say die nti na ban eje at most 4 to 5 years no na ankra school there after say maame di 3 months no wie ye na no obetimi di akwada na ko school anasa akwada na sha ase so otenase a obetimi di akwada na ko school adentia ye no kwa de ne dom kokosua wofo betimi atua school fees from that end no ebesisa akwada na be wie school ni nyina no ebedi mu nkomo na yahwe ebedi wadwentre enso ewo so bia mani nyina no so atimi aboa. These are some of the shows so ye dey every on topics ebetimi aka ho asema no nkamfo no so dom kuma wo mrase bedwam kasa se omampani ote adwa so His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ede ni nua a private jet ene etu kwan mo akroya na mo recommend ma omampani akufo-addo se yen die ye wo ha no ni good state wo ho e wo se etibidi tu kwan omampani wo ka se mberebe omampani ko high plane bi se enna ye de tu kwan because ye de is not in a good state so what you say Emma enu say okuje to abla kwano mu nsem won beka Sam George mu nsem won beka ye ho ene ye wo obi wo man mu a eye o mampani o te adwa so enua ono ankasa as nipa ankra no ekita private jet no man Ghana no ye de ho man na corpus bibie wo mu no onu nipa no oye na adwuma etimi tua tax de ma oman no ye ntimi ne di oman no taxes ntimi mfa top private jet ma se mampani betukwan age se onu no nua private jet e no de ko dom kuma ni bisa se dada na mo recommend ma mampani akufo-addo so onyusu eno ne ye se mampani pese okọ han plane no kodware bu ye so e wo wie mu no me pacho sanse bi wan test educate no nyina kan bi wan te ana ene de se omampani betukwa ya ono ankasa ne nua Ibrahim Mahama private jet ena ode ko dom kuma ne bisa se e ka ye bo ho ye de he yenti ye ne se ye se oman ne tofu egum enti se oman ne wosika de betofu ba ye ni sika de beto private jet enti se ekotofu ne de gum wie a ya fele tank ni nyina no omampani di atukwan akoba no obekwa koduro na asa ana oba de aka no nipa ne fa so you ask yourself say oman no de ne ye kwan be ne ye fa so ye wosika de beto petrol ade se wadanfo atoka no ache so unia bepese ukai de so me de be mo ane obenya sika tofu o de a na wabeje road world ye wo ho hwan ne tuaye we ye wo ho hwan ne tuaye bibi eye hwan ne ni nyina no e wo ho car no konya accident a e wo say insurance e ba no insurance bi sa o say car no e gita na driver ni e so o use car no nyo na o use car no nti insurance no enkoba no bi say na Ghana for insurance de e na dabi de ese ye hweye no wan hwe anye e wo ho a insurance engutua obi a de car na ma spare ana obi a de car na ma obi so metofu ani hu car nim emfanko aso yera omampani private jet no a ni nua ne de no a okoje de call ye no nipa na wo twi private jet no oman na tua ne ka ana hwan na boss nipa no ho ka na ode akoso all these things ensem e ho ena me no e ka say General Mosquito Johnson Asedu Kotia wo ye chairman de ma NDC amanyuko na ka NDC ma say wo munya abotre no mtwe mampani guso a obi bia enwuma no manya bia so na enwuma na ni ho ene promise yes ye be ma enwuma no ana all these things e won nsem a e wo se etime eka ene e de ema e wo dwumadi eso eno achi so petrol bo fuel prices ashase e kosoro ene range from 15 to 17 cedis per liter na eko nanimo no bisa se sen na eko ni nyina no ye nkomo ayede ebrewo e wo the dialogue show yi eso medi e de kwame abo akuda nkomo abetia from Ekomoto. I am your host with the most. I am your moderator anopay yankona yankoje the pledge no emrata na fe yameto dwumadi no eso by the power bestowed on me as a moderator. I duly declare say the pledge.
The pledge. I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. I pledge myself to the service of Ghana with all my strength and with all my heart. I promise to hold in high esteem our heritage won for us through the blood and toil of our fathers, and I pledge myself in all things to uphold and defend the good name of Ghana. So help me God.
Right, abusia enti we ene sede hyehyɛ no etie yakɔgye abasa no de na ɛwɔ sɛ yɛkɔ yanim na fe yɛhwɛ yɛ motivation ene anɔpɛ na wobisa sɛ what are your motivation no ɛka de akyerɛ yɛ the production team no motivation or the ɛma no and saying you say the successful man will profit from his mistakes and try again in a different way. The successful man will profit from his mistakes and try again in a different way. Say oyen central juma anasa woko wanim na woye bibi. Yes, let me use the central juma no na wadin komo bi na waka asem bi anade na woka ye no na nipa na twa wadwe sisu se bia wonsem ba akomienu we ya woka ye no sei na etie ana sei na ye na wadwe ho atum na fi wasan ben making nsem no so you have make a progress what make success in it wo pese wo pinko anim sa na se wo ye bibi ewo fie wo ye abusua pani na wo ye bibi ewo fie na busuane mane bi etwa jusa busia pani wade we ya wo ye de say busuane na wo tetimu no wa transdin no say nsem ankrofo yi kai eyampa then obesa get back to ho na wasa meka busuane abom no say busuane pani we penso de as a successful busuane pani no oye success ni nyina no eye nkomonti ya nsem no dwen ho na fa si wakoma mu na fe efatu anamo entu be bisa se who is a successful man obi a wabɔ ho mɔde etumpon empon no ekwanim se wusua de na ya ka kyo se adesua wusua no ya ma homework wanye ya ma note wankan wanye se enti obeye sure so person pass exams na enti nipa na twa adwen susa ne maso no watena se sampansem woni pay kan mamemfa na memfa nkomanim. That is how the production team is telling you say bo ho mɔde na ekwa anopa yenko na yenkoje de weather update no emfa emra no pay yeko wiem yeko hwe se de wiem sakram sem no be ya fa don hwere adunu na ya edi enim yehunu se ebo kakra ewo wo wiem Ghana afana babi bebre no anu munkum kakra ewo wo wiem eno nam so be ma mia bi a sutade ewo babi a kwaye breto ewo mepo ena notan ewo no anopai eho be yenyu kakra ede amomo na ohia se de niema ekwanimu na awia be ni ti fiti nondubrim ekono ebetimi anya awia ama awia abo ede amaye na awia no so efiti ho no ekona nwumrem no ye omia bi wo ho a enso kakra ebetimi agugugu ede amom ahoyira ebekoso agiramu ewo Ghana yetifi efamu ya na wakai ahye ne nso anopa ye gina flawo enkran kaso a Cape Coast akrade azim ho kofodua achimoda kumaso obo asata kwasa hwebe kwa eketekra chicken tampo gosus ena sunyane ne mpotemo no a mununkum kakra ewo wiemu anopa yi omo mununkum agina wiemu no egina hamobu pe aduanan 40 degrees Celsius na ya ho hye no ashase ye osusupro no so no egina free 23 ekosi 26 degrees Celsius anopa yi awia boblem na awia be ni ti ede amaye omanfo a ewo kumasiti ye yombetime nya nsuo afei nso takwa sehwebekwae ketikrachi kintampo goso ene mpotem obra tachima eka ho no omso omutie ye awia boblem betime nya nsuo ejino hamobu pen aduasa kosi na aduanan eso 30 to 40% ene chese nsuo betime agugu ede amaye na awiemu no ya ho hye ne bepeja anopa isusu pro no a ejina 23 ekosi 26 degrees Celsius no eba begina 32 and 36 degrees Celsius evite wi abobrem ekwanwumrem no ye betimi anya nsuo omanfo ewo ho kofodua achimoda komaso obo asetakwa ene ne mpotem no ebetimi anya ensuo no bi obra ketikrache enso eka ho a eno no ejina hamobu pen aduanan ofa emia bi de se kintampo gos sunyane ana tachima ne mpotem so omso betimi anya ensuo no ebia eno so ejina hamobu pen aduanan anwumrem no ya ho hye no so beti awia bobrem de no ejina 32 ekosi 36 degrees Celsius no eba begina 28 ena akosoro no eye 30 degrees Celsius na chese wie mwadwo na yetimi ada yenko Ghana TV fam emra yegina yende tamale bole dama ngoboga tanga na lugu ena wa anopai o ma ho hye na hyase wosusu pro no so no ejina free 26 ekosi 27 awia bobrem na awia be ni ti ede amon manfo ewo bole etie ye ometimi anya nsuo ejina hamu abupen aduanan 40% awia mu no oma ho hye no bepeja abegina 38 37 ena akosoro no eye 40 degrees Celsius anwumre mu no na oma ho hye no so ate ede aba 32 ena akosoro kwa na 33 degrees Celsius apono so ye din ede ma afarefo no tomo manimre se krodom na fo mo pena me kakra emfa emra John Shede na ye di animu yi se na wiem sakrem sem no eye afa agudie mrante eba beji adwa na fe oma besomye ewa agudie ekwa so isa se all work and no play Miss Jack a door boy. On this note, now Santia Boy takes on your TV with the world of sports.
You welcome back from that short break. This is the dialogue and it's time for sports. My name is Nana Yao Asante Yaboa. Yes, it's a wonderful weekend ahead of us. A lot of sporting activities and so pick a sport, a place, and just go out there and enjoy yourselves. Any honorable MP for K2 North, Mr. Adam Agbana. Osisebeya sika ye de basi supporters sako World Cup no. Yemfa improve infrastructure. Ya kasem we dida. I hope say your supporters are not listening to you. This is what the way we should be going. Said the bit to me improve infrastructure e wo krom hanu. Oma eyi kakra say assuming we are taking 2,000 supporters to the World Cup. Then we need to spend about $9,000 on each. It means we'll be spending about $18 million. Now you ask yourself, say you fix it across Sports Stadium pitch now I yet said the Chelsea, baby a omokoje 5-2 no pitch ne said the no, and now baby a share Man City 3-0 said the pitch na. It will cost us about $2 to $3 million. It means you bet to me fix Kumasi Accra pitches no to that standard said the beya obi ba ha no ma yensu you bet to me share the 5-2 said the share Chelsea 5-2 no. Where a common sense approach. So what do we do now? Yembasi supporters announce to say yankoso enye de no. Time will tell. Thank you, Honorable Eric Agbana. I hope enye rhetoric nemo you mean it. Because every MP understand has a slot when it comes to these things. Allegedly, that's what they're saying. Yenshe Rugby Africa, President of Rugby Africa, Mr. Herbert Mensah Akwakopiemu was Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe President Emerson and then education komo FA Rugby World Cup Basu 2027. Zimbabwe are qualified for World Cup now and they need to put up a good appearance. And Mr. Herbert Mensah and then Koshia education komo said the Rugby Africa to me a rep very well our International Rugby World Cup Basu 2027. Yensha MTN FA Cup matches so this weekend. 2 venues and IIC ABC account Cape Coast and then Nana Ewo Techiman. Eye memin kwasiada Dreams FC and Heart of Lions Bishia Cape Coast na atram device and mediama Asia memenda Techiman Ediana any Techiman Liberty Youth Ebeshia na Nations and so any Brekum Chelsea Asia kwasiada ewo Techiman we MTN quarter final matches ebekoso ewo Ghana this weekend and no because there will be no league matches until omo mulusu no to me your time kakra I recover then bounce back the next weekend. Mr. Donald Trump here, the President of United States of America. I'll say Iran, you are welcome, but it will not be appropriate for Iran to be at the World Cup. But Mr. Trump, that's not your decision. It's in the hands of Iran and a year FIFA to decide who appears at the World Cup. Yansha Europa matches are so a year and Bologna any Roma draw 1-1. Lille Lutina Fielusu 1-0 ma Aston Villa. Panathinaikos Real Betis Kabakoma to me anti and Stuttgart Tenefima FC Porto Ekosha Nekami no Celta Vigo 1 Lyon 1 Genk 1 Freiburg 0 na Nottingham Forest Tenefima Midtjylland Ekosha mo Kabakoma to me anti Conference League no so AZ Alkmaar Sparta Prague Ekami no man to me anti Crystal Palace draw 0-0 on AEK Lamnaka and Ishia Samsung Sigma draw 0-0 with Mainz and Samsapspor Eshe Lusuma Real Vallecano by 3-1. Yansha some tennis news. Yes. Indian Wells no ekoso na Irina Sabalenka defeated Victoria Mboko 7-6, 6-4. and Sivoltina, and so he saw of Ika Schweinsteig 624664, and Rabakina, and so Ewini against Pegula 6176. And Mema quarterfinals there Esini Carlos Alcaraz Edifiti Nori by 6364, and a Drapa Oyi Eye Djokovic Efimuno so Elusu Emma Medvedev 6175. Ene Emma Semis 1. Sabalenka ene Noskova ebeshia ena Emma Semis ebeba so ochina. Alexander Zverev ene Jannik Sinner na Carlos Alcaraz ene Medvedev. We looks like another Carlos Alcaraz Jacksina finals. Yankee basketball, then we leave the place for a year Commodore to continue with the dialogue. Then the fixtures for this weekend. Basketball, Detroit Pistons 131 points against a year 109 by 76ers. Indiana Pacers 108, Suns 123 points. Orlando Magic 136 points and the Washington Wizards 131 points. Atlanta Hawks 108 and a Brooklyn Nets and so 97 points. Miami Heat 112 against Milwaukee Bucks 105. Grizzlies 112 and Mavericks 120 points. San Antonio Spurs 131 and a Nuggets score 136 points. Oklahoma City Thunder, that was close, 104 and a Boston Celtics 102 points. Lakers had it in grand style, and there you see the big man himself, James 142 against Bulls. We in Kenya, we are sold out fixture. Bulls 130 points. Young share fixtures echoes major European League matches. That's a leagues. Ligue 1, Marseille, Ene Olze Beshia, Ene Enyumre, Lorraine Lens, Angers, Ene Nice, Strasbourg, Ene Paris FC, Metz, Ene Toulouse, Rennes, Ene Lille, Ebeshia, Bundesliga, Ene Friday, Mochen Blackback, Ene St. Pauli, the big game, Leverkusen versus Bayern Munich, Dortmund, Ene Augsburg, Hoffenheim, Ene Wolfsburg, Hamburg, Ene Cologne, Werder Bremen, Ene Mainz, Freiburg, Ene Union Berlin, Stuttgart, Ebeshia, Eye, RB Leipzig, Serie A, Ene Numere, Torino, Ene Parma, Inter Milan, Atalanta, Napoli, Lecce, Udinese, Juventus, Verona versus Genoa, Sassuolo, Ene Bologna, Como, Ene AS Roma, Lazio, Ebeshia, AC Milan, La Liga, Ene Friday, Alves, Ene Villarreal, Thomas Partey's Villarreal, Girona, Ene Bilbao, ATM, Getafe, Real Madrid, Elche, Barcelona, Sevilla, big game of course, Real Betis, Celta Vigo, Real Sociedad, Osasuna, Mallorca, Ene Espanyol, and no La Liga fixture Sebeba so this weekend. Then Burnley, Bournemouth, that is in the EPL, Sunderland, Ene Brighton, Arsenal, Everton, Chelsea, Newcastle, West Ham, Man City, Crystal Palace, Leeds United, Man United, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, Fulham, Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur, Brentford, Wolves, CAF Champions League, Mamelodi Sundowns, Friday, Omnistad Malien, FAR Rabat, Pyramids, Bekeni, Al Hilal Omdurman, Esperance Tunis, Al Ali of Egypt, Confederation, Meniema, US Algier, Kotoho, Zamalek, Olympic, Safi, Wydad, Athletic, and so Ebeshia Ewo Honum. Aha, any other sports in AC, Yedaya Yeba, CJ Winters, and the showbiz, and as entertainment news at the Bebro. Good morning, Yeba Sisia.
Right, so we shall 31 after 7. No, so about Pawisimano, Ediasa, Bako, a brasso, say, Mebeji, Jana Femidi, the Oho, so a 12, so would you medi, as you fast Sedano, and Fama Nasa, Tiaboa, say, or the tidbit around the world of sports, and so a braye, the dialogue show, no, as so. Meji Jana Fe, made him come home so at 12, so a natchez, and 10 times young call in breakfast calendar, so young call said, breakfast, and also at here, and then a fear that said the medical. Akachron a March Bosomi woman de Toso Dumi and Sada 13th day of the month of March the year 2026 today a Kahwana Chesi Chanama Komako 13 days the month of March emu 18 days ena aka ede ama the month of March na ye de akona wiye that happens to be say we add to numbers ye wono ho anachesi ye twa nanoma komako 72 days out of 365 days na ewa feminity aka 293 days and sana de afeno akọ na wiye now neno eka ho a ebetimi akọ na wiye de anachesi ye twa hours na makomako 1728 hours na ka 7032 hours ene ho de emma the year 2026 bosumi a yewumi eye bosumi etosomi ensan wa afeno maka bosumi makomako enkron ansa na ye de afeno so akọ na wiye na wotwe edisi nei na wotwe etosomi enu ewo match bosumi enu mu na ka na wotwe me ensan ansa na ye de match bosumi nso akọ na wiye ene eye de etoso num ewo na wotwe a etoso mienu no emu na na eda etwa to kra just na wudo awoda ye fa kwanya we so na ye wish you happy glorious birthday but ochina honorable Albert Kandapa na woda happy birthday in advance to you honorable Albert Kandapa, a former MP for Fija Setre West 1987 to 2013 former Minister of Interior and then the ekaka ho nyina so nti sene would may wish you happy birthday and tomorrow happens to be honorable Kandapa awoda na mame nkwa homa so medika bobo nkomo bi kire wo ene se fan obo epija ede na osi etimi ye electricity bo oto bibi kakra bi ane yate yedidi nkomo afa ho no na chese ye pasem no epumasibre mame nkwa homa so na mene owura Paul Eric Ofori eni nkomo owura Paul Eric Ofori ahead of Research Chamber of Petroleum Consumers aye twenty ase Copec na mene no kudi nkomo Ofori anope me moache
Mnyama go
boko de
obade na
yesu adome yeso ye ho ye pa ajaya na yetae na udi nkomo a na yedi nkomo to find what is happening and what is new ever in say US any Iran ntokwa almost ewo Iraq so no ehun sunsanso bi eba yebisa se enne se obi ko pompe anno so okwakoto fuwa prices no ejina same per liter
you me that say my main child ne tifo ene
right
yo ne ekoso odwaman so ne de yeah yo Ghana isan se ne amechire mu da bia na ye net importer of finished petroleum products no see appeal see impel directly or indirectly no e be affect you
right
na we say affecting positively and negatively and no kwasem e be affecting negatively na a free Monday konede yembo ya boso mo de isan se petroleum prices e be kosro pa and hwekra na se ne hu between October November 2022 no na sa bi ne be hu
okay
and sha per liter no bia na 5 cedis and then 6 cedis there ye dey aka ho into currently no say 11 cedis now on petrol no that means ye dey bear 5 cedis and 6 cedis na be ka ho that is 16 and 17 cedis no no right. Diesel no there e be pagya ne mu pa enti abanista science ohwe crude prices are between 28 February ebesi and now me no ka say it me pagya ne mu by as much as 25 to 30%. Ohwe diesel Ujaman so no. Can you near ton around $708 per metric ton? Minia a picture the more could do $1,200 per metric ton.
That's right.
The 28th February, ABC senior menoka say. Now, okay, petrol so then number around 650, and also money musaka could do $800-900 per metric ton. LPG so from 503 and $505 per metric ton, no. And also money muso all the way 700. So can you boom? We see the news will be say magic BNC money bedroom single digit beer and ye number and num 10, 11, net 12 na. It's about the Sahara. Definitely. Send ya cost was no. Sahara ni being wa. Inti so 20% for petrol. That means 20% in no one a bekain pump price. And that's about 45 to 50% for diesel. So the same thing. And I be pump so and one so as an LPG. So beside me there, minia and yet some part as of mine.
Very well.
It's significantly no come Monday. Fuel price
right. What must be done to mitigate this as on my dear now happy to take cream was it me a year nanke timi boy was our kind so.
Unfortunately, no. As a country, not as I say, it's me more preventive, no. As I didn't see a bit reactive. But Ubista say for how long? Answer na and tokay bebe. You to a buying for your book costa. There be a lip service any rhetorics na air cost. So yes, you make hay while the sun shines.
That's right.
But okay, you attempt to resolve the issue. Really, what issues are you resolving? To see and to quanesi. Some prices, yes, be about from Nina Pijanimu. Inti then you know about me. And yes, here we. So you bear the brunt. But I said, you too for set for. You inject capital kakran shim. Nanka send your start operation somewhere the latter part of 2025 December. No. Nanka yemfasika kakran kushim. Nan the crude distillation unit CDU no. From this surprising unit no so yempa na yes some kakra in terms of technology and the right tools no as well as the primary product which is the crude na ebanesa etimia refining and sonny crude no so send yebenya the right octane levels around 91 and around 95 here or my no. Unfortunately, dog jumay near producer and assets and yes on this bano. Yet me fengu ye come.
Right.
I just mining industries steel industries depend a bit me use. So until such time say you be injected that level of capital to be here, it's around $200 million in here. And no happening here for 4 to 10 around. No crab and say, mom, no mon catch say a capital and it is meant to be paid back. Now I'm on around within the next 2-3 years, supposed to be able to pay back that $200 million. No, I can your strategic stock reservoir my bust. Yimbusa say, see a fair boss is here. Ibusan say bust. How many liters do you have in your tank? Umbekacho say 0. As a nation, 69 years old, I are setting up a buffer stock, a reservoir, saying Kadachi, a yakwahu here, man. Now you are falling on those reserves. You need one cry or your tanks in. It is at to Abba. We have nothing to fall on. So, it's in the reservoir, no. Nanka, you say world market prices na e favorable a nanke yakokra bi na yeti abesi wo ho America minia they have in excess of over 700 million friends saying barrels how much in terms of their strategic stock.
That's right.
Nigeria will be Ivory Coast will be then a Ghana and Kwande ya nope and a casa.
Right. Very well. Very well. And sad the year born home next week. Prices no be increase no. Ye be who the agitation from the driver unions no say and ye may cost no into almost yentumana because ya na a here timemuni a wo tie me said the be factor in the massive next week you call the 2 petrol mu said the year can ya prices of transport fares and so e be increase.
Yeah. Baby I could do it. Say what is say transport unions. Yeah, now when some mutum kakra. Yen OPEC. Yen ni omo nko ho. Ene yen ni omo mpra ho. Adentia. But wo hwe ni eba na e quite significant. Enye ade bi a ebetimi aka say oh, we the transport unions on betimi absorb nti na e okay. Mini asa wo to ade 10 cedis ni e de be ma 15 cedis a. Menji ni se wani beje sa.
Right.
Oh, a bit disruptive for business. And it is going to affect virtually every sector of the economy, unfortunately. Abanisa, and as I say, we and you be a baby and these are developments on the world market. I'm an Abasania Abano.
Right.
It is a transport unions, DPRT, concerned drivers, one the bar 1.7% transport fares ma na ne kwan so an na mum okoba ye bebo ne say hwe na percentage no ambro more than 10%. It's it last year ye who say prices of petroleum products are stable and in most cases impo tete abafom nti so omo ye bibia na e kakra bi na omo de to so sania ebe meet omo target
very
well. Aya car owner eseti emawom.
Very well. Very well. Well, for my na say na me fa won si e wo dwumadi na me bisa say in case say ya kosa we no nyina achi a ye wo plans and policies bi betimi di revert yen back ama ya benya ye normal after sentokwa no ebesi bewi.
Well, and to kind of media and come empire and send can and kabende.
Okay.
But from the way near my economy, it doesn't look like a band this year. It's time say Iran had conditions about for a ceasefire. And I don't think say US and Israel and the world is ready to accept conditions. And to kind me sure say because we are transfer. But in the meantime, no. Short to medium term, no. These are measures that I believe saying Cabano a consumers. One, you enjoy the collection of the 1 cedi levy as early as practicable. Yes, suspended. No. Two, yes, suspended the implementation of the price floor.
Okay.
That is a policy a NPA at the buy. But once you didn't there, I are buying and they buy. Into those two entities, no, from the government side and then the regulator side, almost suspending no. A billion price build up no. The 4 cedis 27 pesos on petrol, 4 cedis 25 pesos on diesel. If you want, there's what is called the special petroleum tax.
Okay.
That tax in the can see a for 5 years. There was a sunset clause for the collection of that tax and a levy. When you are 11 years down the line, you go suit ya.
Right.
Into that has to stop. Into special petroleum tax as well mujai. You be price stabilization and recovery levy. When you as I said, no so you sanitation and pollution levy. These are levies which have outlived their usefulness. Into Busamia as a consumer, I call them nuisance taxes.
Very well.
They ought not to be there. Iti say niyama we nyina fi so ma consumer na. At the end of the day, no, the price build up in terms of tax and levies, no, ebeba form cra. I'm a consumer, no, so
Right.
that way, shock could be a beba from the oil marketers. Nobody better so 5 cities and 6 cities, no. Even though a bad affecting, but affecting the big. It's not say what cushion in terms of the removal of those taxes and levies. Oh, and this our policies be out there, chef, them 1 year.
Very well.
Between the medium to long term, no. Yeah, say yebemato aye juma fully into se to aye juma na 45,000 barrels per day capacity no omutimi ye juma na together with spent to any other private refineries no and we should be energy sufficient going into the future.
Right.
So who in the say you be import 5 to 10% of our income or local demand.
Very well.
The refineries will be able to serve us and then even to some extent export some to neighboring countries. And yen hwe ehɔ no na ebio ye frɛ BB petroleum hub. Aban hwe na as early as possible no yenya the needed investment in that field. Na yen setting up storage capacities across the country. And na say domoro side hɔ na ye pese ye no yen hwe na yen more musa capital no na yenya investors no no meye say adwuma ne maye eba ubetimi anya more refineries, more storage capacities and more petrochemical plants. The crude no ba ninya from the Cape 3 point no ubetimi de bi akwakomom na omonso asonation so amenya ho mfaso yesi yenya nyina.
Right.
This way and I believe say Ghana will not need to even import 1 metric ton of petroleum products into the country.
Right. But for Paul, where there, me do see na ye hwese na wotwe ye kwakosi mu no within the middle of the week no mentro sanfre wankasa na ye nya daage wo fie ha na ye mmon komo ebekọ akire wadaroma.
Anytime, yeah.
Right. Abusia nipa otisem ne no ebon komo yi ora Paul Eric Ofori or ye head of research at the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Trinity as a COPEC and our otisem ne no AD and komo no wa wotie me watin komo na se ma me nane me homra me dane me ho ba me ba be di komo no nto aso e de amawo ame ehune ma ekoso e wo man mu me ba sisi awo na 2 television so CJ Winter said entertainment and ebrewo.
The Akoshie holiday is actually on now. Lights and also green lights. So from Menesa Abria, Kwakopim Sunday, and Ajufano. Forget about it. We do what we don't do. We do what we like. We do what we wish. No be something where somebody go talk. You get her? No advice is going to be taken. But it will be good if you take it though. And I was still now, don't forget about advice. Okay. But my story is, and then is there going to be any advice for us? When it comes, please listen, okay? Fridays, they are good for bad advices. I dream feeling your money among quants, you know. Let's go. You are watching the 2 television, okay? Pacho dialogues. So in the entertainment, you know, when you say CJ Winters, me and I'm a bro. So watching me live on your screens right away, you know. na meka will say Abriwana na medaswa me virgin enemy D Africa's opera. I mean, this is CJ Winters. And somebody be NASA. My music has been successful because I'm different. Rocky Dawuni has said this one, and Samuel Owusu Akasa will throw some punch be okay. And also we're going to talk about it. Afe, you better so I'd say something from Shatawale and John Legend, and then Adete Ananso Akabibi, all those no. Yeah. Become then we'll go and then end in Nigeria, okay? Good. Now Rocky Dawuni ayenim so yanyumtuni mapa pa ewo Ghana hano mafe so wajiji abasobodi ahudu bebre se woko outside Ghana a mindful so crampo na wetumi abone homode ne nyomoto no atratra aso pi na yi na o kire mu se bibia wo ye bia no so wo artist na se woreba bomodi an se obey original whatever thing you are doing no bomodi an se obey original in whatever thing you are doing and no and ebetimi ama why successful and pay so wo rehwe me na say bia obi ton indomie ewo area mu honom na wo hwe na say ekosuma na enka say wo so kwakoton the same thing. Start doing something different, do something different on your own, and it will be successful for you. Okay, good one. So he said many other things that we would love to let you guys have a watch and then listen to them. So let's go have our first video.
The initial sound it is so you. That's why my music has found its way. That's why it's been successful. That's why it's cross borders. The song Jerusalem, he played the song Jerusalem earlier. The song Jerusalem, you said when I recorded it, I filmed it in Israel. The album that it came from was actually voted one of the most essential reggae albums of all time. We're talking all time. And it was the album too that was nominated for NAACP Image Award, which actually set the precedent for my previous albums to be nominated for, a Grammys and all of that. So it is all because I focused on the craft. I focused on the songwriting. I made sure that, I had my own independent record label when I saw that no record label will want to sign me. So if nobody wants to sign you, what do? You do it for yourself, because I will not take somebody's rejection of me as gospel. I knew what I had to offer. So every stumbling block, I found a way around it. And the initial sound it is so you. That's why my music.
Okay, so stay original, okay, and be awesome in whatever thing you do. Come out from yourself. Don't try to copy someone because they are successful or you feel like you can be like them. Be yourself, okay? That shows the Africanity and you, huh? Right. Samuel Owusu. Yeka untie Debbie na ubehu. Karye no nu. Obana ko hingme. Ori bese hori dua we free. Na musu boda kware meko dua. Ho na obehu se hyehyia ampa. Papa yi asema odi abeto abontin ni se he Ghana fo dia munima ne se mo betina ase ahwani pa na odoma nkoma wu e de ne nsa abeto dipa ni kom se bam atu owia ansa ma besisi nkonwa abetina ase ena hwen ena munye ni sei dia munima ne no munim na se mo munim na se mo be ye ne sa de ni bia Nessa my best story for baby will be an abetata muni now baby kwam wono. Eh na nya sa no kan. I dey enko hwe video ne why. Man kwaya trofo.
I didn't near train. Say nipa no onfi asase so ansa. Na Ghana for makai no.
Big question.
Na amanfo ahye da betina se. You set it up panel near discuss. As I say, a man state barrier. If you say there be a man state assisted barrier, state one where Nipa netiase no. Share musicians in penny 4 year film. Any actors, any actresses. Ni omwa ye agigi ye ni no. Yet he has any yankai. No, why wouldn't he say You may discuss in your man state barrier, state assisted barrier. As soon as anything. Or no, a year, Jumano, near my betina ho is soon. Some more bona basso sabre, no, for so ben no being your film. To be honest with you, I'm here. As soon nympha so. Do it. Ne makura mo de be ma mo kura be di ya wo mo. Yeah.
Okay.
Ghana ni bi oba ne ho modern wo man mu. Mo obribi ya ana mo obribi ya na brought ya se na ho ya. Na state barrier, state assisted barrier.
Ho ya.
Aso nympha so. Adenti ne ye twen.
Oba so no CJ Winters mi gina ha sei yi emprempren ya meti ase ya metumi kasa me homi e na ama me sika papa bi a metumi edi ase no enya abra se bi mi ni ho bi omunu na ma be ye yi kasi bi awa mi o. I need that money now. Money, some money no me kwa me be ye press conference se bi o ta frache dachi bi me di be 255,000 years ewie no na nyankopon aba be fa me kono on sa ansa abode na mbobo ni nyina no o se mbobo ma me sese ya na me amehwedam no ye me ho ansa na satam na du okobo na mabusuafo no omo no obra be no won obo ma me no ma be je me sa abode akodi intimate asi ya no bring them sabody and everything we can chop am ho. Anyway abusia another news in ewo ho any say Shatawale and John Legend. Shatawale, we all know Shatawale, but what about John Legend? You know him? John Legend and about what would I do without your small mouth? Draw me and you kicking me out. Got my head speed. It's okay, it's Friday. I don't sing. Oh, don't get to a year made to answer what before ya mammy. Now to once now say see us and you're crashing. See now for ya mamma sano. Oh, senior, down to boss say take your time, take your time. Enti abranti ya obosa enyum ya metu isesia no ono ne de just all you know everywhere ye Grammys a wajeje be de wo honom nominations de kwabo de chakpo awards na de ade wherever baby abefa bia no obone homodin pa na sabri no ona Shatawale de enyum bi aba bonten a omuchiremu a on the March 20 2026 year no na enyum no ebeba bonten enti yerika say aka a week 7 days na what the enyum na babonte enyum ne title ne ye ain't nobody eno ena eda enyum no Shatawale so de enim so obo ne homo dem pa ye say wa ha no man ye say Shatawale ne Rihanna oma ye enyum na ade enyo omonko a Shatawale has been really doing good with collaborating with foreign artists, and we think that that's a big one, and we believe said the omoka say we John Legend kakra and a shutdown so kakra and omodia blended. So it's a big hit already. You got it. So we are all waiting on the 20th of March. Na yate nyomono said yate. Moving on. Agyapong actor. Okay. Na Agyapong essay. Ghana ye wazoye, but ye nim azoye. Anything. Yen culture ye wa as Ghanaians. And ye ma binu mo hodo be ma ye dance no. Movies na dia de ye yini nyina kura wo mu o omuntumi kura yini nyina kura wieye na obehu na buroni afini kuro mu abaga na hanom na waba be wieye stories na akwakoye no ma package ne kama esa na baba to net hwan na ma akwahwa. It shouldn't be like that. Na said ya brand ne dia yem hihyi bi e de ka asemo no. Let's go have a watch.
Do you think Ghana's film industry reflects our true identity enough? No, I'm afraid not enough. I think that, yes, we've made some strides, respect to that, but I think there's far more that we can do. Looking inward, there's so many stories that we're not telling, and the likes of Hollywood are coming into this space and, fishing out what our stories are and retelling them in their own way and selling it back to us. There's something wrong there. I believe strongly that we should put our acts together, collaborate, partnership is very key. And this month has been, I don't know how that affects the presence, but this month, which is March, is Ghana month. And I believe that we should, ensure that those partnerships are ongoing so that we can, in every aspect of our creative space, project who we are, our culture, through our music, our food, our language. Gone are those days when you're caught speaking vernacular on campus, you are punished. In our days, you dare not speak any vernacular. Today, we should make that effort in making sure that they are in our movies, because it's our language, it's rich. It can be spoken anywhere else better than we can. So, yeah. Do you think Ghana's film industry reflects our true identity enough? No, I'm afraid.
Okay, and me pacho muntie why? Muntie nkaboi na monshe no so na mufanya adwuma. Na ebusia now it is time for a futubone. It is time for their own person obetse, okay? Aha, but you need to listen to it. And they send the futu the obi 24 pa na uti opa uti. Timaya our Nigerian singer. And oka sembi na video no some video natural obo na on a Paul on Peter and Paul the don koloe on the Paul and omo ewo video no na some oka ni nyina ni say we are branty amasa forget about marriage o bomwa bom na wo nkwala no gu ho de ya nkwala no wo benyi now waripa this time forget about marriage forget about marriage in India na iye hu bisa. Alright, so let's go have our last video.
Just bump begin go grow. Mom, this marriage thing no dey work. You don't understand? That's why you go just bump begin go grow. Mom, this marriage thing no dey work. You don't understand? That's why you go just bump begin go grow. Mom, this marriage thing no dey work.
Now, Abranti, when you listen to him, you'll be nice if you listen to this guy, because all the time, no, he has always been saying he's not interested in marriage and all those. We have people like that. Even in Ghana, we have somebody like Miss Bell who has always been saying, so they are already no, she's not interested in marriage. Do you get it? So we have people who are not interested in marriage. It doesn't mean now you're interested in marriage or you're already married. No. You would come out from it and ask it just because you've heard. No. Today is Friday. So if the futubone comes, it's not necessary for you to listen, yeah? That's it all. Right. So I will say, let me, stop here so that we continue with other stuff on the dialogue. Okay. CJ went to send me the Abrewanana Medasoa Mayor Virgin. I am the Africa's Oprah. So Commodore Ene Asantua coming back on here to continue with you guys. So weekends we know our shows to you, okay? I love you guys so much. See you next week.
Nneɛma nyinaa nso nkɔ so yie na sɛdeɛ nneɛma ɛrekɔ no biribi ahyehyɛ yie so ahu said the name aircon, said the name airco, and then while her fuel prices are, ye do come on at the amount and pay out to me say, if it's next week aircon, I hear or see me abosum. Then no send it here, my emu. Obi enter kwa woko hunsu san so manema akọ ede etia asoma ya na ebisa ho say yetena ase ne yeto abade ma omampani bi a yetena ase ne ye mampanifo bi kotuatua asoye bi ano a ya na yebisa ho say ya na esu ene ban nimde ban ni nkomo ban no omkọ ho a omobode bo oman no yetena ase yes cabinet meeting yetena ase we meeting board we for ha we yate board we ya say ya na board no plans and policies ben and omde go edemo man ye de na akoye dada sram sa de ye bia me ahwe ye keka bia me ahwe ye ni say na ede na de ebebre ye na afi ye duruma bia timamufo ena ye di wo mo eto nsanie mu ana ye de ensem bi efa afom ho a ya na akwakoyo haw ede amaye mayenkwa ahoma so na menkodi nkomo bi emra ene me ka kire se ye de nenu esi wo se ede ya ye de ema nkwada ye friend se National Preschoolers Day nkwada ye do mko school ye do ko school mu eviti ase no ye do school mu a mfoni be ne tware kire wo mentality ne perception of the school no mu no send e wose unya akwada that time there oni batimpanifo na be kire nkwala na de no e de ne be call nketi di ama nkwala no amenkwa amaso na mene Dr. Harold K. Anan emonkomo na Dr. Harold K. Anan eye Publicity and Organizing Secretary at the National Association of Graduate Teachers Trinity as Nagrat yenim komo eti sey Doctor no pay me moche
Openye mi do video so
me ba cho mpombo ko de
nyame kwae na mo so
yeso ye ho ye papa na anopa ye ni sobra wanyama ye ma ye bo nkomo bia eti sey se ye di dwumadie yi esi one de akakai a kire awofo a kire se ebra ye de nkwada eco school aja wa hunim ne wonso anim dia wa sua aduru no se ye ka se preschoolers day a eye da de nkwada eco school a ye bisa se akwada bre ben na wose ye de eco school wadaroma
yo openye medical ya wo tie fo nyina na
am say ya hwe Dr. Haritanan ewo ahomaso na yepese bisa se akwada bre ben de be ko school say ye public say ye private anopena medi nkomo bia na tesa e de ma se akwada ye de be ko school after so wofo di ne maternity leave ahwie no obehero na wofo no na oba no maame e wo so oba no maame betena o mo nkyei no wo hwe akwada no ana entina maame no ko adwuma na maame no ye ne nana no na na hwe no bisa se ehye ne programs policies be akola no benum no fu abo ho agi se ye de kan mu nuane na de man kwada no here and there ehye mu no aban wo ne de se ye beje akwada wo school mu a ye dase anase dase ene de sa ehye no eba na ehye no eba ne se ye na bi se ho se at what end ena sa ehye no eboa owofo ne boa akwada no so de bi se ni ho ana etesei ni nyina no eye hawa ye famu in terms of say ye man kwada akọ school na awofo so ho ahan wo akwada ewura school mu a edie ono akwada ne betom kwa so ukwabro kira omu esua se de ye fix niema yesua se de ye we na ye Ghana for de abebe ato table so ana ato blackboard so ni e draw abebe na draw abebe ti enemu abebe parts adon the day no abebe no kra no ne final exams kra emmam na nkampese wa draw edetwa so we ask ourselves say ye disua na wose yesesa no ana yesesa no so ade ne yekofa all these things na wasenka yedi hu nkomoje enho adwenkyere nim de say at the end of the day ye de akwala ko school a akwala no ko wura school mu ni kura no e de no hunu wo school ni mu ntie be ma nani aka obehu sa akwada bu o de no ko school bia no wo su enka akwada ya sori adware wa no pe wo so ko school de na wo ko hyehyia wonam fofo de enka de ni suin de bia behu ye maamenom na na yenuanom nkituai omdo maame achi ko school na eyesu nkwa na omu esu kwasi ko school anu wo su na se ede na wo school mu ha ye kwasi anika enti ede ne kotena ho futi anopa kwasi sa no miensa bebo hwi ni ho obe no mada sa. What are you doing? We are jumping, we are sleeping, we are sane aside. We for school fees. Sabesi by this time. We mean nani yankobo bi ana ibedi ho nkomo. Ya santo wa ha o ye wo fu edie. Na ye ni sa enkomo no bi na fe. Ye hwese de nema eko ede amaye ewo djumadie eso. Ya akwaba.
Ye nua.
Boko de.
Ya me adona oswe.
Yesu adumi ho ye pa. Na sabaten so fia sab mache boko de Yesu adum tadentina mecha wanye so ye ewura no moje so ye enua onua be no me ma to se etikeja mecha wi ye ewura no so ampa
ene ma me cha me foforo na me so foforo ma
sab akwa ba te say
ye ewura nyame adom me ho ye na so
Yesu adom so ho ye pa ya me so cha foforo ya kwa da sem so be ka kwa kizi mi na that bi nyam ko cha na ko je so pra dem say papa be say woni komodo de ne wa just chivi gambo kura we age so komo ne bi right yes sha say but me komo me de atodwa no say preschoolers day ye de kan kwada ye do omo eco school ye bisa say enti beba ne say na kobo akwada no wo hye na ye be na free ni maami akiri kwa wadadada na ni beti na ne madam ene kita ne maami kura ko ye de akoda ko school santentem sa no ade ni nya efree mu so wo yo wofo as to when na wo say ye de akoda ko school anka bebo akono akoda no ne wo wofo
ebusene efiada na kwa me nkomo ya odi abai eto de bia medwen ho na mebisa pa because time aye ko school no na yenyi kakra ebia be 2 years bi de ne yenya ansa na eko school na so ne akwala e was 6 months otimi start school na kwa me ne fapim na ne se ne obi animre e wo wiase abraboyi obi animre ewo ho enti yina no ase apedie so no adoso adwumamu adoso enti maje se kwa me bia me ni me ku tinkan ha se yawo me ku ye adwuma me so me ye adwuma na se ye wo ba ebi na adwuma na me ye no emra emma kwan se me de akwada keto abekọ ho enti eno sa no esese ope school bi na odi akwala no ko eno ka hu bi ne enkwala no adoso me kai se be se 4 years ago na me chade romance wo biko machema na mase na me ko echira de no na mekita me baketo anhira na me de ne ko school na aban mremu no omo makwan se madama eba hye wachie no ode ne ba bekyere ade enti ikubi se wo kwa a wodo bi beka wo ho na edu time ba ba kwachira de na ode ni akwada no oba no akwa akoma akwa nipa kwa wo hye oba no ede amba wo enti kwa me ni nyina ka ho bi sisi ade ne fapem ne adwuma adwuma na ama we nyina eba abasa no first no ai
na ban na wo so akwada ye wonu a so be ma awofo no se be se wa yi o say
ama wa hye
but ye na before so be kwa adwuma bi ma oba wo ya ba adwuma oba wo no eno so ye de hye be to ho wonu se fire service any other security jobs no uramu aye wo years bi ewo mu as wo ye adwuma ansa na wawo it is for say we ura fire service mu bi a say 3 years ansa na wawo it is wo ansa na 3 years na so a it means say obligations say wo adwuma mu no why wadwe say nyade a obe qualify na obedie so it means there must be a sanction so onu kura wari o before so be wura adwuma ni mu no e wo say within 1 year 2 years and some years bi ansa na wawo yes obi wura adwuma mu a na wawo na wasa akoma ni leave ni watua na ka na wasa enti ebia ni o say adwuma nti na wo say ye de akwala ketekete no 6 months no eco school no obi a onye on na chima akwala ne wo no 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 obetete akwada no edinamo na no obehwe akwada no edinamo ebetomribiri na akwada no we stubborn a o kana sem kra enye yi
aside no one say eba wo ne abatete no eye enkade papa mu a wo maame ne papa na mo wo ba na ese mo na mo tete no one say enkwala enyi no nipa wo ne tena na nani ka nani enti imagine say wawo na wo de wo ba ama obi say on tete ne ma no akra na enyi nipa na wo tete no nya maame do
so obo ha wo di akwada bi wo akwada bi ko obeje no he wani mu ana wo sere asa akwala na ni age ejire tembia no hu wani mu a no wani e ka nani sana enuntu o de akwada ekọ school obedu mu osu na me kasa akwala na esu obi sasa asube kasa nyo no pese obekọ because there's no anije bia o school mu a okoje nka okọ hu namfo no school no kro okọ wura mu kra ne mu enema te sei school a yete form e na esi ade school a madam te ha na we here for her madam have you seen us having seen anything which I say yeah can say the teacher you ask yourself say akwada hwe teacher ni ogina akwada na the way akwada ni di agro no mo koba no ya na ye nkwala mu kra da de chia osoro ko no na person okọ school
na on say asha say the heading wo de akwala she school asia obesu because nipa na oje no wonimu no ena nipa oni omo ko she wo school mo wonimu obia nto ye hoho
enye da ayikwala no kra who's akwala bo obekọ school na akọ de ye ka bebeto biribi there was some days bi ho a akwala na so na wo de ni ko school kra no wo su why because they happy wo school no enye na kono so obesan ko school wo biem ba ye awofo ni enim ni ebrim wo awu pe school na onye say o be sana o ntimi nkyerɛkyerɛ mu bi esi
na madam magene kalipo ano obefia no wo su
so ati ase so ahu edia na akwara no ko school kra o su ba de yen ya ye awofo de yen to mase ye no makotina nkepese ye hu se aban ho de o say ansa ne say wodo beba school no eye 4 years anase 3 years wo de usu akwara ye 3 years wunyia 4 years ebra na ye papa no ko school no na omdo nsa fa omu etise na akoka waso meboa ansa na ya school ya bisa o say edi ntina no mo yesa se wodo nsa be fa oti akoka waso se duru waso a ansa na ya school no bisa se di ntina na yesa na bibi ni ho omo de yesa de na ne akola 6 months won se obedwon so ontimi nka so beja na ontimi nka bibie no obetimi aka so de na iko school obi nso so adwuma no se wo fa says yes I will for pay school fees from that end sa kosi say akola na be wi school
now mo school fees is so boarding pa
say na make
ne boarding kwa me no mpo no ne ba bi nkeye esan say akola no wo na wo de ne kwenti e de nwumre ba kofa no na ye de wo boarding ye won say keto akola na order boarding keto akola na akogya na to school mu ni nyina no aya na dwuma
se hunsun sa so
e how bebre
koso konya danfo bi wo ha sa danfo na ye obi a wonya ebeduru baabi na oba no agensem ma kyese wo kan hwe a enyi ebeduru baabi no na se enema bi nye enkoso akwada na bra bom yie but wo fo kan sa enye yie adesua no kro wo kosia no kwa etesen e wo school nim
asemo
so ahu etine ye di bibi e fe se childhood and as preschoolers day afeni yeko school no de bene sin kinye wo school mu ansana akwada na ko wo kwa de ne de no okosua na bisa se mperifo no hunu se bedu sa time na wo de akwala ne ko school bi abese 4-5 years no wo hunu bibi ka enuntina 4 years de wo maame wo na tena fi ha okasa wo ka kire no wote bibisa otimi tere no ho nema bi mu ansa na odna ko school say madam no oni mu akwala no kra no onkire na de emfa monte ho no ode kasa bi kire akwala na de ana oka bibi akwala na ye de etiase oni na dwen enyi ba so atiase otekasa eba nunti na ban say 4 years ansa na de akwala na ko school why because na otekasa ba wo hu nema bi ba enka wofo kra de odo akwada be ma kwala nufu a ya yesije mabese 2 years enso sabate ne ya se pa so beta o se odi nufu be ma oba for 2 years ye hu ya sa kwala ne timi ten ne ko koba ba ko menu be ho betwa nufu sesi a akwala wanya boy akwala wanya girl de betwa nufu na ye de sa no budi ayi ni atwa kwala nufu na akoha kwala no but ye so fashion e pese ye bontin na atwa kwala nufu
me won say nufu de ya okay eye senka ye timi at the time a nurse for ne kan so anka ye because uma akwada num cha e bia akwada na adwemu ɛno de nkɛyɛ nanso ɛnɛ yi ɔsɛ mede ka sɛ adwuma sɛm ne ade ne nti no ayɛ a mmerɛ nhyɛ da ɛni afa ɛno nti aha
yɛmfa no ɔbɔ krataa no nwurawura na afei yɛnkɔ yɛ ne dwumadie mu.
Okay, anɔpa ma memfa daily guide ɛnhyɛ aseɛ wɔ de bɔ krataa ne mu. NPP internal elections will verify eligibility of all aspirants. Sampa traditional leaders call for peace amidst chieftaincy disputes. Government in massive security recruitment scam. Minority. Telecel records revenue growth poised for expansion. Mahama commissions Asharami LPG vessel in South Korea. Into way your daily guide.
Ebusa yɛhyɛ ase anɔpa di nkata ahodoɔ a yɛnsa ka wɔ dialogue netu tv dwumadie so ama yɛahwɛfoɔ ne yɛtiefoɔ mehyɛ ase katafa a ɛtɔ so mmiɛnsa na owura ntimfo jo reverend na nifoni ɛda ha sei wakasa ɛde afa ɛkwan a Ghana mampani yɛwura John Dramani Mahama ne afisɛm soafoɔ ɛde Ghana mabu afa soɔ na ne nyinaa ɛne sɛ soafoɔ hwɛ afisɛm so betu dwa sɛ Ghana fo mabu amokondo sɛ mobɛyɛ post adwuma asɛ adwuma immigration fire service and afi prisons no mo forms aba monten so nam so ma Ghana fo bi a yɛpɛ adwuma yɛ yɛkɔtɔ forms yi ebi na ababeto dwa sɛ forms na ka wo mo penipa 5000 and Ghana for mebu 500,000 and a kotoye. Enti wushe mwa we no omebu mebu na faso ankasa because muna munim ni padodo abo form adwuma mu and amobie forms na to ama enipa ye beto ye no wo mu dɔɔso sen ne mo pese mo fa enti NPP amanyokuo no edom kuma mo mra hyebedwafi wo mu bu afu semampani ene afisem so afo ekwan a wode mebu ni fa so no entwe yie enu nti wontua wo mu sika enfema no pay ho nsem ne bi eda ha se katafa eto so sia so ebo ya mane na we eye NPP amanyuko no modin nsem aba monte so wo mo se wo ma mo beye o madwen se dibra bi ba NPP amanyuko mo se yento so ba se mampani se wo beye mrahye bedwani ana se ne keka ho bi ya no esese ye hwe wo su ne wo ban chese screen ni ye wo yie ansana empanifo etimi age watuma ewura Justin Frimpokodua ena den semi ababeto monten so eno chukatafa to so miensa e wo so ase so kopie mu e wo sampa na nanu maton kunya wo mu bofu ankasa na wo mu di koja bobo mu ti di bia tutu wo mu ekomu a wo mu den sema ba monten so ka che Ghana fo se sampa sumdwe ni ho ena mahensem ntokwa e koso e wo ho anopen krata bi krata nsem bi e ba animu ena maboso achewu
Mame fa the Ghanaian Times and Twaso. Accra's water supply under threat as sand winning waste disposal pollutes Wager Dam. Strengthening Ghana's energy security. President Mahama commissions LPG vessel in Korea. ICU wins National Development Award. Minority demands refund. Probe into security services recruitment.
Ewusa mamenti also na me fa the Ghanaian Times ento aso katafa to so dumienu na awehosem a ewo kasewa Wager ene se wo kopie mu ewo Wager tade yi dam na ewo ho na e supply nsu ahodro edema o micro Ghana na se ye keka pa ye se enso ho akwa atwe na ye no kran so fiti afi etwa mu na eba monten so na awehosem no ene se ba bia Wager yi ewe ebusua enkofo de ho adane o masase ebi tu anwea ewo ho ebi nso felifili enso no transase etowenra enkata de bantim bebo wo amane na baako a ahomete na sebi etan anopai ene sebi wo mo yi nkofo agya na yi yesi ho no mukohwie gu enso na ye no mo no eho baabi na mo kohwie san ne mane gu asefem na awe ho Ghana ye chiche ni seni emu nsem ewo katafa etoso du mienu katafa etoso edu so ewo enim ha sei eye ICU wo mo etimi ewini National Development Award a eho nsem ni bi so ewo the Ghanaian Times enim.
Daily Graphic. President commissions LPG vessel in South Korea to boost energy security. Ashanti region attracts $3.4 billion in foreign direct investments. Refund fees to disqualified recruitment applicants. Minority urges government. Wesley Grammar School at 70, Professor Corte proposes PPP to expand education access, improve outcomes. Daily Graphic.
Daily Graphic na medetwa so e dia manu ade bebo amane se Ghana man pani Yera John Dramani Mahama wakopie mu e wo Korea na ni nyina no na yo man koko Ghana ye ye ho semo ene nam so man pani etu kwan ya no pe ya ba beto krata ye nim se obra man pani ekobo ye no eho abanfa so akrata feto so miensa no boye mu amane no echi krata feto so dunk no so e yoro intim for John asemo a wo ka edifa wo mo a wo mo pese wo mo kodon aposi ne nyimekwa hodo amedi kan bobo so ye nei wo musika akoka adwam wo sisika no esefata se betua ede ama wo mu katafa to so dum yensan so eye asante manta mu enkomobo na asante manta mu de so koye investment wo ho ebusua enya de usika ebehwere anampo se adwuma na okobi wo ho no obenu hu de biara de san se sika podu a Michael Kuga nenya edi fi ho no emu odu anopenkata yi edi mu nsem so abeto anim ha.
Mame Father Chronicle in Chato ewo de Bokrata animu. Akwaboso land dispute, then Trahima fires back. Minority raises concern over silence in Ghana BP carbon credit talks. Chiefs raise alarm. Sampa is sitting on a time bomb. Security recruitment. Minority demands refund of 113 million Ghana cedis.
Yo, ebusia mami wie ewo Chronicle katafe to so mienu e de kope miensa enra da anase ne nasa na mbebo amane se nana ama ayensua eye dentrahema na womo ensase hu sembi akwakofa ntokwa e de abanka tayi ebebo yemu amane ntime bebo wonso amane anopa yi na hema emfoni e da katafa eto so mienu e de kope miensa saranso e na sampafo de ye no so eye ensase hu sem no eno so ewo kata yimo enu echi enipa womo yese Ghana fo mebun ya womo yese womo ekwa akodon security adwumaku na nei dream bukata akoso etia womo no enu so ho sem no bi ewo ha senti anopei meden kata no esi ha ama
na asam kakra me pese medical on se enra esiri nketi abeka se ye employ over 500,000 people na into police now why mo akonfo ben and omo ba be chi omo asem we ye ka kire o man Ghana na say yan fo mu nyina na bi nkobokro no na omo ya fa omo no anko no mo ko chi omo makobokro no asem we yetimi bie ya no eka e wo man mu man ye yi ana o man ya yese ye kikire na ubeka asem we e de kire youth we kra wo ma o mani na ye den abre ko so bint mi ntua sika enkoto forms meanwhile munim say mo won krofa man mo be form mo dada ehun hia krasen ka mo de beto abonten na nka say o ye wo ye nkrofo dada ntinu ye mie hwe mu ya form awie into the aka na no ano no basa wo san be ka say ye employ we mu nyina into the security services akonfo ben eno mo ba be krom teacher ye ne nkobokron no mo amaka na mechi yenko ya se ye da wase pa
yo so bata na kokwakuafo efiti nyame adom adwada kono omo beti asemude
omo beti asemude oh ye se ye beti so biom nto omo mo ho
right mama yenko na fe yenko na yemra na fe yem sameto adwumadi no so ha the dialogue show na Twitter vision so any Abusia mame samu achemu akwa babie mu fa mra the dialogue show jumadi eso na ebra so se ye giedwa do se ifida bia dura ya na ye kan se financial friday ha na ye tena se na ye disikasemu enkomo ewo jumadi eso na anopai sedie na wotwe bia ye no ye ne nana Christian Donko na ebebo nkomo na nana Christian Donko economist or a chartered accountant and now sounds here auditor. Now, I'm the meeting come the financial Friday in more. Now, they are pay ye do whom come and say, I buy and some more workers say, Osha, when you good achievements, I would do microeconomics, ye indicators, Nina air point to the directions are HSA, I buy ye near. But you and I can attest to the fact that sika any kurimu amount for eton ayento biti se kuku for ekokarum kuku munye sika abanyume for nano to the sense say MP for nkoko honorable Joseph Frimpong ejina mrasibedwam kan say abai emfasika ma ama even to the parliament hokra no yedom ka anase ka ho a wose yedema sika ba no mutimidi parliamentary businesses ahodo enso so no emae enipa mpeso mbeka no kre no mka no kre na ebese tom free sa we no nyina na yebisa se wo yese de omo eka nkomoyi efa bibia no agina yie a ene aden na sika eni omema no ye de kan ye toso mienu nsa bible kokko se wato anaso bidika beka che se wato gold mako 18 tons a ni na no otono de ono no eton ye no na oto ya oton no 3500 but edu se okọ shortage a o san akoto fufuru na so okoto bie no ye se ko 5500 enti obeton ade aboka ana obeton ade anyamfa so sisi a wo de akwakoto no beba no sen na woton no less na wokoto no woton high eno sa na ba e de sen bebere oman no nyina na bidi hu nkomo ewo dwumadi eso nti yenkwa na fe ye ne nana Christian donko enisa nkomo yi ebre bi so ewo mu a na yemre no mu anon so afre na odo de aba beto so bi ahwe aban ni ye ene nema bi a wo ye fa yesi kaseme ho ana akwa aba
yo komando me chia no pe
ye jo so
pacho atu baba oda for the ya na moto am nkra
that's right
amusa mu chia opa nyagofo eso emma wa hoden bibia ne ahoden but that's it me fa akonya so na me nchi oda for no na me nchia me ankasa me eja me ye nana wo ho nti me chia o ma no pay
that's right
yeah na amuta hwe
yes
no net 2 is noted for very decent discussions relevant one of course something that will help fight the canker in the system nti amount for party
right
in the mornings and other relevant year the programs are
right
nti yabesha mu kran say more in a fire be a mobia fire that the nation reward you one day. My sister Monica so here.
Okay,
Monica, yeah, ciao. And if you know I wish.
That's right.
On the by this time I da hoshin.
Very well. Before I say be ko en komo ni mu bia be say no pe na me ni nua ma no e di nkomo bi anefa awofo ne nkwada
very well.
Na na ye bisa se ye di akwada ko school a ene si ye kan bi e friend say National Preschoolers Day a ye nkwada ko school obo akwada no okọ school okra no oba fi a de wo fa mu de wako ontimi meka
yes
ade achi no di ni ko school na no wo so ba se e hona wasa de no ko num se the same ade no fa mu nra no eno na ne wo ko fa mu e kan na ye papa no mu ete ase no omso ye ko school ye de ensa fa yeti ne akosko se ko ka waso dia na otim se no ye beje sa hanka waso a na chese woni what the moon in sad name say what were the brain behind sad no and then hunta kwadanya 6 months kra na school be geno say ye eni kosia ade na ide na ekọ owfo
and I me that's a commando a very relevant topic
that's right
to be honest sad we say me what time one and come because our misreaction
that's right
our advantages and disadvantages. But for me, if you ask me where I stand, and then my witness here, I get to be we feel advantages now more than the disadvantages.
Okay.
Because you see, yeah, koye ni mo no. Wahu. Na me fan say education, more innovations, more become.
That's right.
So what I say, ene ye bisawa, e baka chose enkola na amaba no, amu ye brilliant papa. Obi baka chose enkola na amaba no, see amu ye very very brilliant. Adentina abasa. One, early school aye tumedi omo.
Okay.
Champion, me mama nchiro, me enter class 1 at the age of 6 years.
Okay.
Amuame.
Okay.
Because champion, se na mi brain sitting no. Se na me starting in tamwa. I will be sharper than this.
Okay.
What you say? Because that time na ekọ there a lot of things that you go through no. So what you say? Inti one early school no mum there, to be honest.
Okay.
Me wo not a be. Chaja unemu ane jama kufa ba. Started school at 9 months. 9 months. Me come bro for catch wa.
Okay.
Last time me come you correcting me. What do you say? I've no 6 years. Or correct in me catch.
That's right.
It very good. And now education so see I am very very relevant to the what I say. And one early school can you bad. Good. And then the other advantage last time so I was a parents no. To be honest, and first, and most of the wives are house that's it. Keepers. My first a housewife. Yeah, wana washem kolano ma. Omo 6 years near there no fee. But I see gender equality. Mame no. Sometimes the contribution of the behavior human and also say papa nangasa.
That's right.
Papa bi okọ or your chacho you ni ha ne yiri kra na ekoye but enti akoba ne say oba na kese o trafie na obehwe akola no asese na uzika no enne saade ni ho enti akola no early stage obi enu wo so oye adwuma maternity no obema 1 year aburu ni ade enti ohwe na be 6 months ni ade then you thinking of the next option where should I keep this child what do you say? Even though send your usika akola wonim kasa obetumi akọ school na bibia ye no known to me kasa so but when you identify a good school na special teachers e wo ho no ufa bia danfo special care ebinum so ye very eyipa obetumi ekipu akola na ma wo one eyisa abedin no feel so that's where me fan come remember say ne ya witness ene ya witness so many videos media ya form to say nanny at home you to meet tia kola bi kom.
That's right.
And the situation where kola no so to me say nanny bi o to me back me share video bi nanny bi back kola bi from here to here na anu so to me can no so but I think it's a school teacher ni bi en ho with a na crowd with height you know ayi baby ayi wo ho a teacher bi back kola di na teacher ni yem sa e ba chew. Enti me feel say these are some of the advantages boaseke and tisa first na gender equality oba di bi ba ni ade na oba ye house of tifie na ohwa akola can dey on mature ofie kura onu kura betumi start no teacher wo but ene no ani ho nti ama preschool no aye so yama
so na yede atitim kwada ye dru ba bi asese enkwala ni nyina nyi aba build adwen no
yes
but ensano niema no a ese word na call technical aspect ye IT aspect na ka ho kotra computer ho be ya abadade kodi na ode build ya me abenya ade we ni so anyway
very good
ye bisa se ye ko ne sei a ye ra preschool mu no a ye ko kire ye na wo se mentality no ye ne sen ye unu se ade wu betimi ayama na ye table wo be ye sa ne ma na wo se di wuram na se ye de ko ana se normal ade sua ye sua no se be kwa bro kire no na akwala ehye aeroplane na into or she we by the obeba hanona ya dra bebe da board so a 1519 kwadwo wan abebe ne na emu ni pass abesi ne uwie so abebe hu fa no kwanye hwe
enti na wo ka no innovations ya hwe similar videos a o hwe amanono a akola no 4 years kra no starting manufacture bibi enti the same thing as a import ni aso ya change ya niema mu na the same thing how they did it no yes we started the same thing whether preschool or whatever it is but me feel say especially the private schools so I'm to me this innovation but na say both theory and practical akola ni swana na o involve ni server me feel say the school will be outstanding and it will be identified and obi abepa so ade ne ba be ko ho akosua bibi me hu akola bi champion 2.5 years na organ a obon yeah I didn't go school no and I didn't call this organ champion send you will see two methodist and you me ya to ni afi me hwedin na me say me ma call back we say why organ is we 2.5 years otumi bo organ what you say
so what about say e bia wa bo organ na wie ne bia organ na say ana bia omia bibe so emma so the idea say mintutu na bia we na amanaba we na abanaba no so betimi anya
that is it no so enkagu so repair works so what you say no so egu so what you say once I remember say bibia no obia woni different talent obi baka cho so organizer obo organ no obetumi esua basic repair bi wo but say o pe obi oye repairer pass wa ono so say nesua hu wo so what they say and there should be all this kind of skills e bi no until ye what technical school side you know so ho o hwa akola no a ye ko ne ye chew how organ you put it together do akra assembling we are repair work we say we ade me feel say when we start teaching them as early as you know they blend because of near witnessing.
That's right.
And to me, momo dear, aside certain disadvantages, kakra, so what you are saying, say if you could improve it, me feel senka and you're bad if you send a child to Elise because of near my witnessing me, and
ye free no man aja, every boy and common pen for see a kind of enti yenka na yenye bi otina ko yenya foforo nso aka yemra yen common kasa emu aban se the macroeconomic ye de kaka no brofo no sa jamo am ye economics ne accountant de mu nim ne nyina obi se me na na abrewa otifie macroeconomics no onfanya hwe inflation onfanya on do da se okoto ade no be kwese oni boy yesei no watimi ato no botum ayi sika ato all this indication no emma abaya who say oh yeah but yes still people are not feeling anything in their pocket we say and na dear na no mu ye
nana me that say this topic is very very important because this is what we are witnessing in this country it's very practical and sensational and very important say be discussed like you rightly said what are the macroeconomic indicators ye tem bia ye boy yes inflation about for man and from yes exchange rate see I say dollar to you know I 10.8 even though yeah mess e cost for system rate ni da ho eso ukoko bia wunya and then yan fan say other macroeconomic indicators ye de judge bibia no show say bibia is better in the positive direction but the big question is that why are the people complaining obi a obeko bibia o se ye to a ye ton a ye nto obi a obeko bibia eniema na nka we no suppose if is a macro indicators no good e be show positive no they are rather reversing showing back negatives.
That's right.
And all those things. So the question is that how are we going to explain this? And Nona, I have subject for discussion this morning. So now, champion, Mamin Chilo Bibi. Government, the intention or the running economy way no. So what I say, akoye serious Ponzi scheme.
Okay.
I have serious Ponzi scheme. And you see where they are coming from. The things that they said before they were able to get the power. So now when they came in, they are doing extremely what is advanced, different thing.
Okay.
And when you do that, and Nyama act naturally.
Right.
What do you say? Look, the Usha 2024 election, and someone and I say, and Nyama variables be use against the MPP, I thrown to the power. Their intention is say when we come we should target those things. Now, Yanyano say you bet to me improve more now. Because ya can't win mama at Ghana for to assume and improve more, you benya positive image be.
Okay.
What I say, but in the long run, whatever boy, look, if somebody was able to build a reserve from 8 tons of gold, now we're building it to 30 something.
Okay.
What I say? Now who say, look, Ghana for complaining about depreciation of the city. Enti mamin fasika reserve no be a burden. Anke Akufo-Addo bet me use our reserves no. And the other show their support no. Because when him say in the long run,
okay.
Because system fixing no. So what they say?
I had an budget consultation from Ibinu Muhammad also say back and forth in the
yeah,
the bebo because of Henna M1 says or quiet.
That be. So what I say? Because you see, in the long run, when you build value to support your city, the benefit will come.
Okay.
What I say? And to build our reserves, you know, from where it is even the goods reserve support. Now, when you came in, my intention was to make sure, say, my suppressing na depreciation of the city, you know, indeed now, then I reserves in our home, what depleted from the and what their bus system in Wabaton,
okay,
to support the city, to get the forest. Now, unya forest now utugumu. Now the forest now can see this in a way. Because the last time I checked, necessary cumulatively we put in the system about $12 billion.
Right.
The same people, are more good these dollars into their homes. And nothing, say security was system into their homes.
Right.
Me say most of the homes, are done a bank. Most of their homes. And Tisikano eba ni a mobile ediko. And the attempt to bring it just to sustain the dollar. That's what they say. One of the factors are who say enyama turning into positive, but then reflecting or one kasa uboto. One of the things are two. Look, champion, I'm just this time you're very, very critical.
Okay.
The system is designed to favor only few people. And I'm going to mention it before I proceed.
The
Look,
few people quite as governors,
yes, and I make an governor of Bank of Ghana. And a system where you all benefited too. Sami Jemfia one.
Okay.
There is also benefiting.
How benefiting.
That is fine. Three, president, ne brother Ibrahim Mahama. Governor, these are the few people that are benefiting.
Okay.
What you say? Look, and I'm saying this because we are setting expenditure. Expenditure that you know to their benefits.
Okay.
And I'm more engaging. The first expenditure was buying the I say sanitary pad. 300 million Ghana cedi. Who the cut off sanitary?
Which is a huge amount of money.
Show me where the sanitary pads and amo school ban ya teacher ma. apart from the introduction on the telly, say, ya Tony aso, ba kokra do bon totas. Sa first about eno. Chairman school ben ya chicha de nisisi ya. So 300 million and down the line would any benefit.
From the question Ministry of Gender say
my problem is that the sanitary pass supposed to benefit everybody.
The public school.
The public school. And benefit. Who be so that expenditure to and it was very bad and everything. And to me, I'm one nation because you see, when you want to engage in such kind of a year, a bit me abu bia. And so who say ordinarily the last person at the roadside is a bit to me reaching. And one that 300 million was calculated to put money into their that's few people.
That's right.
Number two. Look, the expenditure and getting. Look, 200 million. The last time I checked, Amudema, you will say, Agric Ministry. Say, Uncle Talk and Coco and Kitty be match. Champion, show me in Coco getting where will be about benefit 200 million. And what if I
say, be a man, Koji, be on Koji.
So
now company State of the Nation address no say watch Uncle Koma 720 and Koma 720 no Amakia for 12,000 I think it's 13,000 12 districts. That's the statement.
And do we calculation? Nice say akokwa obi benya ne sre. No obi enya bebe. It's not serious. Uti
Zenrans me who say enkoko MC nso che nkoko no bia say o de ono so de man ni pa makoma say and so check we benya nkoko 5.
What ya papa bi ya say ensunyani ho side. Baby attend the village ya say am de nkoko no bia about o maje. Unim acquire na mo man 5 na 5 no the TNT a de ko ho no more than enkoko ni value. Yes, I'm the man and say we move here grana for we and the car one. What at all are we doing?
So
that's what I purely calculated to get money into the ministry there. So people will sign for it and they'll put back in their pocket. I'm telling you, this useless expenditure, how you putting money into people's pocket. Just sometimes and I wonder say nipa bi aso adi sa ade wechi. How is it possible? Look, champion. And ade we senka ye serious pa what you say. You poultry farmers.
That's right.
So what you say? Your existing ones and the new ones will come. Who bet to my shenkofo a am entrepreneurs e betumi ebinom year amako sua poultry ho niam ne ade. What you say? You can encourage them to set companies, right? Get a site and then give money to them
because
to do this on a large scale.
Or set up a factory. We here crabbe here nipa be say 15 at a go.
That is it.
At once one because you nkoko ni omo ye broilers ni layers also mu didi de bia nipa ba ko ntimi ma nkoko aduane de bia e number and shifter and also crank out 24-hour economy no e ho nyina no e ba bia senka utimi explore.
That is it. Right? Big factories. Is what I said. No more employ more. That's what. Now see I say what you check and go 55. Akwe binum fie. Na 55 na go check me how I bet me create employment.
Feed o mu feed the son no ma san ba assembly ho ba je feed na.
Tie na go 5 no. Nkoko 5 no. Amoto a nkosua say or the nkoko no ma wa. Amoto a no akwa koton nkosua no. Sa akoko no so o macho no ya abrewa. No ya no waton we me bo on to be wa me bo. Na nkoko 5 no ni nkosua o mbatumi ato for season ASN.
E bia no en me layers into de bi o mbeto.
Hwe me wa papa bi o efie nkoko a onye won. Efie nkoko no o mako 100. Na akoto nkoko we see the concept now are very bad. The approach, you know, and yet, and somebody will say, okay, the intention is say, young farmers so that will limit the importation of those poultry but you can't do it the way you have approached it. And Mamin Chow, it's an attempt to push money somewhere because for them to misappropriate. That's all.
Poultry in Coco Crass or Moon.
Yes.
And see, you better duplicating cocoa.
That is it. And the whole thing, how it is, but the end result is that, listen to me, it's an attempt to push some money somewhere. Look, Obia or Nimsikani Ria, Yabafa Kwami Yan Fitcher, ne ye disikano. Now, you the example Kakrebi, other show. And that is
why by 6 months and Coco getting
Mr. Bakokra, what you see the effect.
That's right.
Now, number 3, so I mentioned, I said those people that are too forcing.
Okay.
Are too forcing, so come. Expenditure is to curb towards their interest.
That's right.
Look, Mami Chow, the next one is the gold board. Gold board, yeah? Last time I checked, a car boy. $240 million.
That's right.
Only me lost in the buy. Look, I say, my appointed single aggregator. MPP time, no. On no ground, I'm a gold board. Osha aggregators, normal dots. Send your buyer a competitive pricing. What are their money for back?
Okay.
And it determines how I should buy it and how I should go and say, Jesus Christ. Now, you know what the aggregator and champion, let me tell you, baby, I do know. My catchers are damn person me testing when we are seeing a prison's life.
Okay.
What you say? And me, we don't come here and say anything just on the vacuum. Me, my research.
When you put the research,
would you let them listen? Some catchers of now you share finance. Now, also we are greater now. You come and explain it to me.
That's right.
Look, you know what they've been doing? The gold, yeah, the loss, at the buy. If you explain it in simple terms, it means then that Okotono high, and Kofona gold dealers and what? No, they are called Amanania Koton low. And he is here. For example, young fan say, Wakoto and good. Wakoton 2,000. Wakoton 2,000. Okamanonia has my cotton 1,005.
Waboka.
What you say? Not in your kind of wabo.
Do better CSC, Umaya.
Who bet me a year they say, why she can't get taxpayers' money or the other Bank of Ghana. I know what time they are koto.
Okay.
What you say? And come and show technicalities, you know. Look, and yes, simply. And yes, simply Okotono. Hi, only technical people like Fana and betting your makers.
Okay.
And yet necessarily so Okotono 1,000 war. A dealers in Oboa or turn 500. But books, or the 500 account why 1,000. Oh no, the Bank of Ghana book. So on 1,000 Oboa.
Okay.
And the spread up to so. Now, Okama on here and 500 normally stay in the books. And all the common and every man on 700. And to Cocotoy, a benya spread. Our man on about 200 meboa. But because one wire 1,000 or Honintino, or Colonia 700 or Amanonia, that's a say, a less than all the greater loss. Who share finance that bank?
Okay.
So I will point scheme how it is. That 500 no, they are to some, and you will benefit Tobacco. Meanwhile, they creating loss am a Bank of Ghana.
That's right.
What kind of behavior is this? And when you confirm with Chegu and Boto, Ibrahim Mahama is part of it.
Okay.
Nobody is afraid of anybody. You can buy a just of 70 million for everybody to praise you. But I'm not a fancy. I'm not a, because I know the tricks they use to steal the state.
Right.
Sakwe, by Simmons,
Imani Africa.
Africa, you know. He was trying to expose engineers and about the activity.
Okay.
And I made the overcourt court. Because and I'm far back and I'm here. But when you got you, what I said, me prison life here. I'm telling you, we'll put everything aside.
Right.
You can't sit down for people to stay the country like this. Meanwhile, they turn back to blackmail rather somebody. Until 914 million, a loss in there by last year. That's how it came about. aggregator no very we say bad behavior approach and adio bi amu ye bia no is to just amass the word taxpayers money and put it down. Now when the laws came, my man first started digging. And then the next step is that how do we steal another money? And only the reserve on that one. Listen, and only buy our reserve on that one. Listen to me. Say I want on 18 on what you say. William, they sold it among themselves.
Okay.
At a time now, I'm a $3,000 per ounce. And a deputy champion tea.
Meet panana.
Reserve no. Eba from and to share Bank of Ghana governor. Ebe say. Why very we say or say why very cautious about how your reserve gold reserve no a deputy and I say reduce so ever from
right
and you're worried so what I say and you see when it comes like that then it means then that would they let it get to a point your city will be weak and I'm gonna say no my someone build enough for you and support what na say a thing kezen me say 25 cedis na obeche no
and so na at the time we gold no air deplete na I think I was can raise cost because we turn gold na we yes
very good
at this time around no or reserves no air deplete but sikano so how do you go about
very good and I make say sikano you know am turn ni no bottom the kogu fie
okay
what you say anya rare transaction what you say and now I'm talking about 3,000 at a low price now I'm say look we are worried about how the deflation is go to so how do we buy back and I've recently so okay or say she said they are coming to buy more gold you increase the reserve I'm saying go for way I say I'm the dream diagro
right
and I'm on the bag no back no we say our proposal say you better to back at $5,500 Jesus Christ necessary what one man who 3,000
okay
and our turn back 5,000 so each ounce will be 1,500 now they farm out 18 tons of gold national tax money in addition because we turn 5,500 it means then that 1,500 each to buy it back champion is it not so now turn it back shall loss
okay
multiply $1,500 by the 18 tons of gold value now champion me calculation nature wa we
because I think say last week more within this week now one of the MPs no minority MPs ni be hear this analysis here
yes
now we say a kwan o mafa so a omode amase worth no sika e wosoro pa
yes e wosoro and we see to 2020 is about the same thing Bank of Ghana be declare loss what you say but they will find a way be no they are but this is obvious it's pure thievery and sometimes will be bottom na side way ko and this is one of the ways and also no amateur gold reserve no cheap amount
okay
now my proposals are turn high back and your pure Ponzi scheme
and we no makabomu to say cocoa say gold board ahead or that no and a Bank of Ghana
very good
another day no sabeka say how no dey kwan be na fa because you the two of you are doing it and I was say how no
so that's why I mentioned those people's names so what I say look beyond that contractors are here juma you ntua ka da only we say payment atufo asin be benefit ni na yi nkwa na amoye me na ka hear me what clients be amoye contractors they submitted their certificate long time me say amuni na say na say akwa there I don't know whether audit to probe obeya because only sika o dey be and about this time February March I must start it because they need financial statement I say what should lie opakra on file bibia but we track comma GR say this you know they don't have money to file so what I say and only transactions to their benefit any payment amoye enti and also no amma money emma system ni.
Okay.
So what you say? Sika baba system na your payment specially calculated to bring money into their pocket. And nkwa na oye. But near betumi ama general public sika akom na contractor nso atuaka na odibi akom market akoto ade na dwamuni na ono so to ade no ye bedje bi ono so ye beto. Okay. Hwa teachers yes ya domuka 1 year something and a nurse for near ade na. You see a very dangerous.
So why is it that almost you may follow IED? Because me can akufo-addo pencil the one agitation the teacher for nurse for any other government workers ni be sorry ya within this aban say omo IED na omo hwe no ana.
No, was a clear signal na amudi kan eseni kire ho no. Ama nipa aye afraid kakra. You remember some nurses echo demonstration. What happened? Get back what on your board because
okay.
Okay. Back be another casa boko na man for one. Enti ama nipa daseni.
Abuhu kakra.
Oh, you know, what I say? Start TikTokers, yeah, or starting so what you was a confirm kakra. And as some of what say, yan tea said dogo win ya, but started. Was it so initially? No, yeah, see a big no nipa. Enti another man, I will you but. At a certain point, it's almost who said, Chabe, so one ma outa. You bet idea de bayon. And to win Ghana Education Service. Was Odim Ricadi letter be about, and now warning teachers. Said there's a bini. A bini
offices home, my mayor.
So a bini. And Huna. Meanwhile, so no, one person out as a director, you are not acting on their interest. You are not doing anything to benefit them.
Right.
And then you watch your letter. Say and a time when I be a director no constitutional right to say. So be Juma na say yentua ka na so person back demonstration. Watch your letter to
and which demonstration too is a constitutional dear say.
Sanity.
So we be so betimi akọ demonstration akọ demonstrate away.
Sanity.
You have the authority so be brand say ma onkoye.
What you say? Enti one these are the things. And ama sebio ono ankasa ote wono ne ho kire ne dada. Na yes also say ye ba be yi no adwuma anase okonya problem. Enti these are the things ama sheda Agyapong ministry department say mo put fear in them and put fear in them which akufo-addo time no enti sa
manyana ntie say clocksack form call strike no national service personnel yedo omo call ho mo so ya send directives akomo omo say ma omo so nko strike ni bi why because omo de omo nye clocksack for no bi say clocksack na ono no kwa national service ho na oboa no fa na say we ye clocksack ni we aduma wo bi a boyfriend def na me wo wasese me ye me national service a wo na esen ka wo ba ho ma me be hye wase na me boa wo bibi a wo ye matimi ahu no wo ama aduma ntimi kwatra office on dey pa na me kwakwa
is that na me kwakwa that is how it is. What you say? Ni na ye hunu
na so bi di na de ba na ma ya ma no na me signature no kosan ya ade na di mu say nipa eso o sign signature we e ma me no na assign no ana
so is here and there tin ye ka tell say into macroeconomic year now indicators na out ho no and they benefit in every because look champion say nyap say pa say ehurahura any niam bi na amafo aye yi a nka ba me say every week nka ba we tena say demonstration
that's right because
bibia nko only transactions are ebe benefit wo na mo nye sika gu ombotom enko na engage salaries na ye dangerous ne say if a government oti abaso na say untua salaries allowance ne very very dangerous
okay
oti ase enti ebe agi ene ayi we say institutions our workers all suffer. Look, whether economic crisis to me kum, unni sika wo botomo adwendwen etumi kum.
Okay.
O ti ase and I will born out so a. And on saka kakra na be ya. Amafo be hu say I mean you have done justice to yourself. O ti ase enti mo bia nsoro biara. Emma we akufo-addo rule 4 years edition it's power or on TV. But this on TV
8 years.
8 years. Or share TV me boa. 4 years we are 3 years you go back.
Right.
Somebody too will come. Na momu no Mia would ye nipa no. Share ye careful and obi anje. She said, look, tie. In the midst of this crisis, tie. In the midst of this crisis, tie. Na tie. And I make us say, on my way, is specially calculated to benefit president, new brother, and all those things.
Right.
Your country, the highest valued gold site and all the amount, brother. I should look at it. Look, I remember saying Western Radio, so another website, all the amount, look, all the contractor work. We will need now the channel. No, on no year, Jumano, next can you travel the bottom. Now, at this point in time, Shasa want to meet Coco Fua. Yato Coco, Yato, Amato Coco, Amaba, won't meet Yonka. But your brother, was able to raise $70 million in Makoto play.
Right.
I am Tiomoka. A akufo-addo be a restaurant. Just restaurant. Ordinary person. A baby. Madam will be a restaurant in Nigeria. Ye dinatam sa. Meanwhile, a akufo-addo be a restaurant. One. Now work as you Tiomoka.
Okay.
Two. Na akufo-addo mebwa. No see agenda 111. 111 hospital. Now, akufo-addo be a restaurant. About to be taught drip machines. Moving from what district near and that thing was a very perfect idea.
So now what you say? Oh, here there or the contractor money near yes, we are money near say family council because yes, be a farmer council, but a conflict of interest. Let me about say Ibrahim Muhammad Jinaha. Now the contract be a competitive tendering crown a koya. Yes, still. There will be a conflict of interest.
Yes.
Say when any yard na buy for bar or also me twemu say no the entire ye twa wo dem say conflict of interest by because unu na ye president there is no way ye dey contract be ma wo and be ma obi a obra wo na unu ye president sa de no ye twemu a emma obi be bibia on fa hu kakra enshi no na on suro say obey because buy for bar obetimi abetwem.
Yes, it means me in my man. To be honest, my brother we no conflict of interest no aye at a height. To be honest, Chemi Akufo-Addo brother via this conflict of interest by say you did Ghana gold in the other. Look, you did it first. Okay, we say first one or sign both side the whole thing called the man. And I knew meboa. That's right. And Akufo-Addo buy and I make say conflict of interest of and the same thing now here. And so if it all happens, say 2028, and they should pray to Allah to continue in power. Definitely, what I say, because you're and I look me now, you know, your benefit now. No upon the work a crave, no a quarter a yibi, no adaba, president, Niakoto play, or the ama president, say often to coin, now on Jessica. Hana doing a wopasa what you say. What you say? Matisi say or the new brother year and kwacho fosu or fosu kwachi and no be explain chairman such a character or no be explain chairman say it's of no cost to the state and what who will take this one. What you say? Enti adina mu ye ni na your point scheme na mu de that Ghana for adwin. Wo ye donation bi a no I should have $100,000 dollars. Oh my dear, yes, girl, when you kidney yet, near body some sha. Yes, stealing in the name of state. Tony Dubakanasum. Also stealing the state in the name of so what you say. And these are the things, champion, are happening. And in your surprise, say problems when now you're doing now. Nobody to me $70 million. Some are to play. And I brother Nadia, look, champion, you're young cola, ya dream when you. And who you NBC, and to be honest, my kind of crunch up. Oh, yeah, NBC. Now, any recruitment. Shall see Kaya, I shall someone Muntaka catch.
I said, don't get your cross, say, if for us, any part 500,000 are here now. No, me now pay police for. Look at the level of insult to the Ghanaian champion. What was that? When we put everything together, the country is being run on a certain Ponzi scheme. Right. In a sense that, say, if you have good macroeconomic indicators,
And you think that these are indicators here do determine the betterness of a country. Now, why are we having the opposite?
Right.
It means then that you are not doing things right. You are hitting on expenditures are relevant to the state.
Right.
Near one ever call bottom. And you na engaging.
And I'm gonna say, my young fa NC na so na me kan say ye be kan be binti ne o kura friend kaje bi yen kanya bi na next year be say share no na ya say edi enkomo a eti say ebi nipa ote ne nka se me no edi financial friday mu enkomo yi na Christian Donko or ye economist chartered accountant and or ye auditor and I'm no edi enkomo ewo the dialogue show eso of fire to the day say the show I first that emfa emma production team ni nyina se so eboa emma dwumade ne dum pempen so adru ene efie dai eja no justice and afis he was ahe omwo production room hobra kwesi nensen LED production no ewa ha elekem and afis no focus eka ho bi amo producer obo ma dwumade edru asom otina na Christian Donko enka enam so midi ede kwame abo kuda kwamo a dodo no afrɛ me sɛ komodo nyankopɔn yɛ adom a week ebesan simu na ebesan share ewo the two television jumadi ya to the say the dialogue shows